First of all, never mind. Why not working? This weekend. That's the first time. Here. We didn't start off with our intro page. Neither. Reload, bitch. What is wrong with you? There you go. Once again, it's your boy Q to the motherfucking G-O-D. We are back in the building. Yes. I think it's our second podcast of the year. Maybe even the first. Who knows? Hope each and every one of you guys are having a blessed, wonderful day today. Um, we have not rolled up yet for the podcast, so that's what we're about to do. Please do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Um, also go check out the other playlists and all the other podcasts that we got going on. And this section right here where it says playlist, you click on playlist. Once you click on my home page, you see all this other stuff that you may or may not see because I'm not sure, but pretty sure, yeah, some of this shit is private, some of this shit is public, whatever. But there should be a playlist that looks like this. It's Q's ENT podcast, and it has all 17, even though we are at number 19. So we're missing at least two. And no, they're not in order. I don't think so. I think it starts out of order. But regardless, you can go in there and find number one very easily because there's only 17. I'm gonna try and put in the same numbers in that bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is only number 17. I mean 18. What would deal with this?
What's good? It's your boy Q to the motherfucking G-O-D.
That shit was funny. This was 2 weeks ago. So we did do a stream this year. Okay. This is probably our second stream this year. Or third. This is only February 1st. Either way, please do me a favor, subscribe if you haven't done so. Please do me a favor, like, comment if you also haven't done so. So today, as you see the title, it is lightskin history day, but that's just for me. And the only reason why I'm even bringing this up or even mentioning it or talking about it is because I actually had an interesting slash something that's just been on my mind ever since this happened. But an interaction with another peer of mine's at work. I say peer, but I never knew the person. So I think that's what peer also means. Peer means you didn't know the person. Well, yeah, so let me get this all rolled up. But I hope everybody's having a good and blessed day. Let me check on the actual chat, make sure. Oh, yeah, I hope y'all like this picture of me right here, bro. This is like a throw. This is when I was in college, and it kind of made sense. It kind of made sense to post it, but like, so when I'm on my computer for some reason, for some reason when I'm on my computer, it don't be allowing me to see like all my photos and shit, like unless like I got my phone like connected to it or whatever. So yeah, like I was just like surfing through pictures. My fault, I lost my train of thought. I was surfing through the pictures and shit, just trying to find something to put up there for the thumbnail. And then I happened to see this one, and it was like light skin history month. All right, but there was some history because most of my family didn't go to college, and it was like not most of my family, but I want to say most, at least my intermediate family. My mom and my dad didn't go to college. I at least went. I won't say I passed that bitch. I won't sit here and say I went. I won't sit here and say I failed it either. But I didn't pass that bitch. With I didn't go through each semester that I was supposed to. I think I went halfway through one or two. Right, because we only had to if we wanted to like we wanted to get a job in another field or like have a guaranteed job. That's like the reason why you had to go for the second year and shit like that. But I don't know. I gave up on it because it became a thing that I didn't want to do anymore. I didn't feel comfortable doing it anymore. Made a lot of money, but it just wasn't something that I thought different of it. You know. Anyways, we're not here about that. We were just talking about the college shit. Black History Month. It's Black History Month for everybody who doesn't know. It's February over here in America. Black History Month. Where we somewhat we somewhat don't celebrate Black people as much as we do as we need to in Black History Month. But a lot of great moments in history for Black people, and I hate that we only get a month, but we get something at least. We appreciate it. But I feel like since I've been in this last I want to say in these last 25 years, bro, like not 25, I mean in these last 10 to 15, for me personally, I didn't realize how much I was like kind of picked on by the same race as me, but not the same skin tone as me. It's kind of funny. Like even my own dad. It's kind of funny. Cause like when you grow up, like when you're a baby and shit, you come out, you're normally lighter than what people are expecting you to be. Like even if you are dark skin, no matter what, black, white, whatever. Every time you come out lighter, so you grow, your color comes in later on and shit like that. But as a kid, I was white as a fuck. Like white. As a baby, I mean, not as a kid. Kid, a little kid, I was a little bit tanner, but I was still considered like a little white. Even as you see me right now, I'm looking at my skin. Like the light blasting on my skin is making me look a lot paler than I really look in person. Anyways, I was saying all this shit to say because it's been on my mind lately. So I was at work. I was outside with my peers, smoking and shit. Like just trying to enjoy my break like I normally do. Normally I'm in a car with my boys and shit, but today my boy wasn't here, so we wasn't in the car type shit. Let me move this mic right here. Yeah, shit. Like I'm saying, I'm outside smoking with my boys and shit, and just getting ready to go back into work eventually. We're all outside. We all chilling at this it's weird, shit like that, shit like that. Snow we was outside. You feel me? But another individual was out, right there in the scene, just minding their business originally. This individual is a female in particular. So it's another shot. Because it's also been a thing happening since I was like young, legit, like since I really was young. Females out there smoking, just like us, doing the same thing we doing, trying to be, get high. Feel me? Go back into work. Do what we gotta do. Feel me? I'm sitting there with my boys. We was all talking, and then another female that comes, that's like her friend or whatever, certain individual. I know that individual. That individual was like, asked me or the whole group of people that was here. They know where she can get some Dodie at slash weed. I'm rolling up right now. I've already told this person beforehand where they can find the Dodie and the weeds. We all pointed in the direction of the weeds. But for some reason, she wanted someone to go with her. But that wasn't my plans at all. I didn't have no weed. I didn't want any weed at the time, so I wasn't going nowhere. She understood that. Cool. Then I thought about it to myself as I sat there and waited for my homeboy to roll up the weed that we were supposed to be smoking. He was taking too long. He was too busy talking and having conversation. This is a story time before we get into what we really need to get into today. Oh my god, I was already. This is where we're supposed to be. I ain't watched none of these videos. I put them in my save, but I didn't even have to really. So yeah, niggas is taking too long to roll up, and I hate not having my own weed sometime and waiting for other people. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. Since we was talking about some weed, I'm gonna go give me some weed. Like I said 2 minutes ago, Shawty just asked anybody if they would go with her. That's not my problem. That got nothing to do with me. Like I already established what I like in my mind. I established that I'm not gonna bring you over there. But in my mind, I also wanted some meat, so I'm about to go over there and go give me some meat. I go over there and give me some meat, but I don't tell her Shawty because she was already smoking. She was already smoking with the other chick. Already smoking. So I'm like, what? You don't need no weed, obviously, right now. So I'm gonna go to you. Like, go get me the weed. Now the crazy thing is, I come back to the spot with the weed, and the shawty that needed some weed didn't say shit to me. She didn't say nothing. She didn't say a goddamn thing. But her friend, the one that was sitting there the whole time, had to put her 2 cents in. And her 2 cents sounded a lot like this. Yeah, that's crazy. Didn't you just hear her say that somebody can somebody go over here and get some weed or some shit like that? I don't know her friend. I don't know her friend from nowhere. You feel me? I don't know her friend. I don't know her friend at all. But I know her because I worked in the same department with her. Or whatever. So she like, can you? Why didn't you just go over there with her and get some weed? I'm like, 30 minutes ago or 2 minutes ago, I didn't feel like doing that, and nor did I feel like going over there with her when she know it's the same distance that I just walked. Like, it was some dumb shit. Like, I felt like I was goofy. She walked by the car to get over here to the. I'm like, why can't you go back? Like, what's the difference? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what her problem was. She didn't care. She didn't obviously care enough to say something to me about it, but her friend did. So I was like, oh yeah, no, I just got some meat. Da, 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 blah. Here, I come out of her mouth like, now this is why I can't stand light skinned niggas. Now, I didn't mention to y'all is that all my niggas here, all my niggas is there, are like black and dark skinned majority of them. One of them was like Puerto Rican and like, but he was like Puerto Rican, like Dominican looking. And this one I like dark skin. I mean, this one I like light skinned niggas type shit. I don't pay no mind because I've heard that shit all my life. Like I've heard like females say that, or like people just say that shit. Like, but every time I hear it, it makes me wonder why though. Like, what happened? Like, who did you wrong? Like, what person in your life who was light skinned, or how many light skinned niggas really did you wrong? Like, how many light skinned people fucked you over? Like, and I'm pretty sure she didn't say light skinned women. I'm pretty sure she just said light skinned men that she doesn't like. She wasn't specifically saying she doesn't like me, but she was specifically saying she doesn't like my type of people. So I'm sitting there like, well, it's sad because it must mean somebody did you dirty, da da da. But like, I didn't say nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Then she was like, nah, I really just don't fuck with light skinned niggas because they always liars. They always lie. I was like, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't lie, but you know, feel me? Like I've lied before, you feel me? Like, and yeah, like your mic, yeah, niggas do lie, light skinned niggas do lie. I ain't see anything nothing wrong with it. Everything she was saying kind of hit me with the like, you ain't half wrong. Like you half right and half wrong at the same time. Like the shit you saying is kind of true, but not because not every single person you meet or every person has to, you know, be a liar. So it was like kind of one of those moments where I was like, you just talking out your ass. But she kept going. Like she really kept going with this shit. Like, and my bros that know, like, shout out to Daryl, shout out to Kai Brizo, in case you watch this shit. Cause niggas can tell you. Shout out to Mark. Oh, Marcus was in there. But like, I'm literally minding my business. There wasn't much I had said to her other than like when she spoke to me. So it really been having me thinking lately, like when that happened, like the first time it happened. So we were sitting there talking, and the whole break though, she kept going on. Like everything I said, like, I'm talking. I stopped talking to her. Like I literally started talking to my bros, and everything I was saying, she's like, "Look at that, lying." And she'll say it out loud, like, cause it's quiet. You know, ain't no music playing or none of that shit. We just all trying to smoke and shit. So look at that. What are you talking about? Liar, liar. Just kept saying that shit over and over, and then kept trying to make a joke out of it, like, you know, my niggas. And the funny thing is, my niggas was laughing. My niggas was really like, joking, cause like it's like, why are you going so hard on a nigga who ain't even like worried about you type shit. So I almost can't help but to intervene or say something. Then the bitch go ahead and say some shit like, when we were talking, I was like, I mentioned something to my boys about like something about family or something like that. Then she's like, your dad probably a liar too. I was like, your dad light skin too, huh? Like, I was like, yeah. And he right here on my phone, show her my phone and everything. Like, I'm being so nonchalant to the point where it's like kind of throwing me off because that's not how I am. Normally, if somebody's like talking crazy to me or like acting like that, I kind of pop off with like, you know, more jokes and like talk crazy. But I kept feeling like that person didn't, like, almost didn't, like, you just have so much misunderstanding about life and people in general that I kind of got to like, I felt like it was like a moment like right now I'm on the podcast talking, like I kind of got to speak to you. I felt like I got to like talk to you or ask you why, how come, like there's something that is bothering you. Why is it such a deep rooted issue for you? Because he kept going, like it was just like one of those things. So I'm like, yeah, like my father is a liar. I never say he wasn't. Like you feel me? My dad has lied before. Probably he's very honest, but he lied. And then eventually, after like you know like speaking on stuff and just being straightforward, like yeah, I have lied. He was like, I forgot what my boys. My boy said something, but I was like, but she ended up like just honestly kind of like giving me the praise that I want. Cause she was like hating the whole time, and then she was like, "Oh, you lying?" I was like, "I haven't lied about nothing. I told you about now." She's like, "I know that's cool, but you just are honest. You just." She was like, "You're just the truth." She's like, "You're the truth. You're just like an honest liar or something like that." She said something dumb, and it threw me off. So then, next you know, 30 minutes over. We only had 30 minutes to smoke and chill and shit, but she kept going the whole break. So then, next break is 45 minutes long, so we get almost an hour long. Come back to the spot, smoke. Bitch still there. Bitch still want the, oh, look at this nigga lying, light skin. Da da da. On the first break, I meant to also mention. She mentioned something about Drake. She went, I bet you listen to Drake too, huh? I was like, yeah. Like she was going off. Like she trying to give me the whole like light skin spiel. Like I'm just everything about me is light skin. Like the things I do, everything I is light skin, light skin, light skin, light skin. And I was like, I can't help but to be like, I don't know how else to be like, I am that. Like I am a lot. I am. I've lied. I've called myself a liar before. Like you feel me? I'm not saying I continuously lie all the time. You feel me? Everybody sins, and that's one sin I feel like everybody goes to is lying. Is always. She was like, oh, I go. That was another thing that pissed me off. Black bitch like, oh, I don't lie. My mama told me I should never lie, so I just tell the truth all the time. It was just like one of those moments where it was like, you're not even being real with yourself. You're just trying to be funny. So like I said, then we go into the next break and the same shit is going on. She's like, you don't like Drake. You don't like Drake. I mean, she like you like Drake, and I bet nobody else in here like Drake like that. Why all my dark skinned niggas was like Drake go hard and Drake is fire. Drake does go like he have his moments where he is talking about some sad shit, but Drake is hard. You can't tell me you don't fuck with one song from Drake. She's like, I don't fuck with Drake at all. Like, I don't fuck with Drake at all. Like, I know you lying now. I know you lying because before you figured out who he was or knew what kind of skin tone he was, you heard his voice. A lot of people don't even realize you don't understand why you don't even like somebody or you don't until you got a chance to even know that person. Like a lot of people don't like celebrities and other people, but you never even met that person to really get a chance to know them. You saw one post or you saw some shit that they might be posting or talking about, but that's not them who they are. Anyways, to continue my point and to continue this quick story, when we finish this, so 45 keep going, she's still going. All my niggas eventually get annoyed with it and stop being, stop being so funny because she just kept going with it. I'm talking about for 45 minutes. Then eventually, like, we put on some Drake because she kept hating. Play some Drake. It was funny though because we all kind of stopped vibing with Drake at the same time. Like we couldn't put on a song that we really did want to fuck with, but we put the song on to fuck with her. As soon as we put the song on, she started putting her music on. She gonna sit here and be like, "Yo, y'all know what's funny? I can't even hear the music y'all playing." I was like, "I don't give a fuck, bitch. Like, I'm not nobody worried about you. Like, we're not worried about you at this point." Anyways, I had went through that on like I think it was like Thursday, Saturday, whatever, at work, and like I said, it was just something that really had me weirded out because it's like I didn't antagonize her. I didn't do anything crazy. Oh, we was playing Drake. Oh yeah, you know another thing was funny. She kept like just naming everything that a light skinned nigga would do, and it was like all things of talent or all things of like you should be happy about. So my niggas was played this one song and J Boy, JB, that JB boy block, J Boy, JB Block Boy, whatever that nigga name is, the one with Drake, where he be like shoot, 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 that one, that song, Look Alive. It's called Look Alive. That's what it was called. So we was playing that song. We was playing Look Alive or whatever. And y'all know me as the light skinned nigga I am, and I do all this all the time. Dance. Like I was dancing all the time. So like she mentioned that as well. She was like, "Oh, I bet you know how to dance too." And I'm like, "What does that have to do with being light skinned? Like I don't even get it. Like I think you're just hating on a whole race. Like for what?" Because I was like, I did the dance in front of but my boy asked me to do the dance. She was like, "Yeah, look at that. Look at you. You know how to dance." I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be. Am I supposed to be offended? Like, I was so confused that day. I'm like, am I supposed to be offended? Because I think she was, oh yeah. She's like, I don't like light skinned niggas also because I think light skinned niggas always think they're the shit. I was like, I had a hard time not looking at her and being like, well, like, why is that a problem? Like, why is that a problem that I think I'm the shit? It's a thought. It's not even saying I am. You said it, like you said. Light skinned niggas always think that they're the shit. And what's wrong with thinking that I'm the shit? Might not be. You literally just told me to my face I ain't shit. Like, I'm not the shit. But to me, but to me, hey, that's like me. I don't know. I just felt like she was really trying to knock down some self esteem, like knock down something of mine that I didn't even feel me that I never asked for. So then it got me thinking. Right, this is where we're getting to for the podcast more so like when I say like light skin history, and I literally typed it in like that, like literally, because I literally just started to wonder because this is not the first time this has happened to me. It's happened to me by dark skinned niggas, dark skinned whatever. Like it's happened to me by certain white people. Even like people just have their own races that they're not gonna like. But I feel like for me, like even when I talk about the people I don't fuck with, like it sounds funny, but like there's certain Indian niggas I wouldn't fuck with because I'm like not because they're Indian, but because of the things that they do and that they're Indian. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember it used to say, like, oh, I hate Indians, like, because they be stinky sometimes. But realistically, it's not all Indians that I hate. I realize that. I've met a couple Indians that are cool as fuck. They don't stink. They smell good. They have, you feel me? All, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that. Like, it's just about, like, the lack of your experiences in life and being able to communicate and know how to, do all that shit. I feel like she was lacking a lot of that. And I was like, whoever hurt you, for whatever, but you ain't never get over that, and you allowed it to stop you from seeing people in a normal light, or just seeing people for what they have instead of who they are, which is in color. I'm talking about. Anyways, so then it just had me thinking about like a lot of the light skinned people in history, like there hasn't been that many successful, like known, let me say successful known rappers that were light skinned, let alone singers, artists. See, like T.I. was one of the top light skinned rappers that was out back in the day for me personally. Then you got Bow Wow, maybe like name somebody like Bow Wow. Who else? Twista, like, and these are known. These are known. I'm talking about. And Twister started. He could go from low key being like a low key Dominican looking color. Who else? Drake and Chris Brown. Like those are artists that are like light skinned that we Michael Jackson, I guess. But Michael Jackson started off as black. He had money, so that changed it. So like I said, I feel like a lot of people haven't been as successful, or and if they have been, it hasn't been nothing where there's no hate really towards. I never get why people hate, like, because there's just as many successful black rappers, just as many as successful black artists or black painters or dark skin, or should I say dark skin, uh, just as many. So I wanted it started making me think like, where did we even stem from? Like, what, where did light skin, the word light skin, where did all the mix and the whole deviation of races, in my opinion, or the deviation of skin color, because it's not a differentiation of race. It's really about the skin color because we're still black. So it's just I was just so deeply like confused, and I kind of just want to get some answers um about how we came about. So I was like, let's look up that first. Um, Also, I was like so quick to want to like kind of make this a podcast because it's just been something that happens to me where like so like some people will be like, yo, you light skin. Like some people be like, yo, you're light skin, you probably get all the bitches. Da, 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 da. And you got some people like, yo, you like I hate you because you always doing this so well or something like that. It'd be like weird shit to hate somebody for. Like I don't know how to explain it. But I feel like I've always gotten hate just for the skin tone that I have. Niggas be thinking I get bitches and shit. Like I'm like niggas that hit me with the you probably get mad bitches, bro. My body count low as a fuck. Body count is not high at all. Like niggas be like, I know you got hoes in your phone right now. No, I'm talking about dark skin. I'm talking about dark skin niggas. Yo, I know you got hoes. Call up the hoes. No, don't. Why do you think that? What gave you that impression? I didn't even. Every time you saw me, I was playing basketball, nigga. Every time you saw me, I was doing athletic shit. Every time you saw me, I was dancing with bitches looking at me, but no bitches to leave with, nigga. Like I don't. I just never understood sometimes like people's perception of you versus your perception of yourself. Because like she said, I thought I was a shit, but there's a lot of times I'm a shy ass nigga. Like I don't even. I would like. There's a girl. It could be a girl right there that I'll know I probably could bag, and I won't go for it because I'm too shy to have a conversation, or I'm they're too shy to have a conversation with this tall ass nigga because somewhat insecure about the height or something. Like there's times like that I've been having my moments where I'm human, and I feel like a lot of people just because they view one other person like that, they view all the other, and I feel like that's wrong to do. So now I'm trying to just get to where this all stemmed from because I've been lost my whole life and never really understanding where we came from. Talking about like people say it's from this, people say it's from that. I'm just trying to find out for myself, trying to give y'all some info, some game, maybe y'all didn't know. I don't know. Um, I'm just trying to see what I can get myself enlightened about. So let's try. I think we wanted to start with this video because it was like 13 minutes, but I don't know. It was just the first. I always try to go with the first video that popped up. Hey, light skinned black man, untold story. Nah, I mean like we can try it, but like I feel like I have other videos too. So
so excited to talk about this one
Uh-oh.
um,
Turn this down first, bro.
because this
Wait.
is a much needed discussion.
So,
So, today we're
this
going
is
to dive
crazy.
into the world of colorism and shed light on the experiences of light skinned black men. So, before we kick off this video, I just want to emphasize that my goal is always to raise awareness features, especially if they're biracial or have distinct traits like green eyes. Through my research and conversations with light skinned black men, I've learned that they encounter challenges, particularly in the realm of competition and dating within the black community. Many have shared their experiences of being judged by dark skinned male counterparts who sometimes express animosity towards them. Comments range from being labeled as feminine to facing assumptions about their sexuality. Stereotype suggestion that they are on the down low are hurtful and and are perpetrate harmful misconceptions. Additionally, dark skinned men may tease them about their ability to attract light skinned black women, creating unnecessary tension. Moreover, it's crucial to discuss how light skinned black women and men are sometimes discouraged from finding love with each other due to society pressures and misconceptions. So, we've all heard the outdated comments about looking like cousins, but it's really time to challenge these beliefs and embrace love with one another without boundaries. An example of this, a brother was sharing to me one of his experiences with colorism. It's very deep and sad, so brace yourself. I'm going to keep this brother anonymous, but he shared with me when he was younger, he would date black women. After spending time with a lot of black women, they would always say that he was going to leave them and date a white woman, and they would leave him. Now, these perceptions about him, he said, was around 1980 through 81, as he's an older gentleman. In college after that, he said he never clicked with most black women unless they were older. He also was not ready to get married, so it never went anywhere. Now, into his mid 20s, more white women paid attention to him. They would approach him a lot and be very flirty, but it was not always happy. He had people always trying to get him to go to church with them, marry off daughters, specifically, he said Pentecostal, and on and at the age of 16 wanted to
No, that's
marry
a little bit
him.
fast.
He would
All
have
right,
to
we're
speak.
done. We're done. I'm done. It's just the way she's talking. I don't like it. I do not like it. Do not like it. Do not like it. You had that. Let's find a higher video. Like you seven interracial. Yeah, let's get here. Wait, what? Are you white enough to be our kind of black? What the fuck? Hey, facts.
If you have ever had even a surface level conversation about blacks in the United States of America, chances are that you have heard of the brown paper bag test or the paper bag test. Briefly, in case you haven't heard of it, the brown paper bag test is an early 1900s discriminatory practice that blacks used against other blacks, in which an individual's skin tone is compared to the color of a brown paper bag. One was set to pass the test by having a skin tone that matched.
Hey, yo, niggas was not playing back in the day. You ain't this color brown. You ain't black. It's crazy. That's crazy. That's hilarious, Loki. The fact that she started off with that.
The hue of the paper bag or was lighter than the paper bag.
I'm not watching.
What did passing the test mean? Access to privileges. Those privileges could be anything from gaining membership to sororities, fraternities, and other social clubs, or gaining admission to schools and even churches. Definitely not an example of black people at our finest hour.
It's great.
But today, I want to discuss the black and partially black people who opened the door that allowed the paperback test to become a reality. The lighter black Americans who used the brown paperback test as a tactic to distance themselves from darker black Americans actually had a predecessor group of light-complexioned blacks, biracials, mulattoes, quadroons, and octoroons who prided themselves
First
on...
of all, octoroons, that name sounds cool. Like, it sounds hella, like, articulate and immaculate at the same time.
their proximity to whiteness and saw dark-complexioned blacks as inferior. The pre-brown paperback testing group was called the Blue Vein Society. As their name suggests, they delighted in having skin that was so white that their blue veins could be seen through it. And they wanted absolutely nothing to do with other blacks whose veins were concealed by their dark skin. And they went out of their ways to make their disdain for those dark-skinned blacks to be made public. Let's get into it. So, what exactly was the Blue Vein Society? The Blue Vein Society was a loosely organized organization that aimed to identify who was white enough to be considered the upper echelon of blacks. If your skin was so dark that you couldn't see blue veins through it, you were not considered for membership. Their hierarchy held white people at the top in first place. And a very close second place were the members of the Blue Vein Society themselves, light-skinned black people and people who, because of the one-drop rule at that time, were considered black. People who would have been classified as biracials, mulattoes, quadroons, and octoroons. And then finally, at a very distant third place, were dark-skinned blacks, who the members of the Blue Vein Society felt were inferior in every way. For the sake of context, it is very important to add that the earliest mention that I can find of a Blue Vein Society is in a newspaper article from 1873. That means that less than 10 years after slavery was abolished in the United States, black people and people who were considered black immediately started discriminating against dark-skinned black people. The highest priority items were not establishing freedom or equality for themselves, or establishing some way to gain access to money or land or laws that would protect them.
I just want to try to see how sad that fucking is, bro. Like, us, this history, Black History Month, we need to be more united than ever. She literally just said after slavery, right after, the first thing we focused on was who's a better black person or who's more black or than getting money. Then getting money, then getting freedom, then extra freedom, or getting more, what's it called? After all that, bro. We focused on who the fuck, like the bitch at my job is focused on my skin tone instead of smoking some dope and getting through the fucking day, my nigga. Oh, I can't stand light-skinned niggas. That's exactly what's going on in the goddamn, what year did she say?
He felt were inferior in every way. For the sake of context, was the Blue Vein Society. The Blue Veins, their hierarchy held the highest priority items were not establishing freedom or equality for themselves, or establishing some way to gain access to money or land or laws that will decency to their abolished in the United States. Black people, blacks. If your skin Important to add that the earliest mention that I can find of a blue vein society is in a newspaper article from 1873.
1873.
That means that less than 10 years after slavery was abolished in the United States, black people and people who were considered black immediately started discriminating against dark-skinned black people. The highest priority items were not establishing freedom or equality for themselves, or establishing some way to gain access to money or land or laws that will protect them. No, simply first establishing that we blue veins are better than you darkies was enough. Their top priority was lightness and proximity to whiteness. The irony is that while blue vein society members were busy distancing themselves, important to add that the earliest some way to gain access stories and sprinkle in a little comment stories and sprinkle in used and offended.
I get it.
It was printed in the local items were not establishing freedom, literally just a few years wanting nothing abolished in the United States.
Let me stop right here. Alright, so I just peeped one thing already. Based off of why the tension is so high already though between the lighter dark people and the dark people. It's already be due to the blue vein test because we were closer to the white people in color back in the day, so we thought we were better than dark skinned people who are darker. You can't see their veins, so that's why other black people hate light skinned people. The darker people hate the lighter people because we thought we were better than them, or the other way around. Both ways, I feel like, but we started the society, at least with the bitches here right here. Okay,
Black people
That's the basics. Like,
and
that's where it
people who
started,
were
man.
considered black immediately started discriminating against dark-skinned black people. The highest
But
priority
this is
items
not where
were
I
not
want- what I need. I need to
establishing
know-
freedom or
This is the
equality for
interracial
themselves,
and
or establishing some way to gain access to money or land or laws that will protect them. No, simply
Just
first
competition,
establishing that
multiple things.
we blue veins are better than you darkies was enough. Their top priority was lightness and proximity to whiteness.
Makes sense.
The
Makes
irony
sense. Back
is
in the day,
that
was a thing.
while blue vein society members were busy distancing themselves from dark-skinned blacks in the hopes to attain adjacency to their pure white counterparts, the white people of that era were shooing them off, wanting nothing to do with dark-skinned or light-skinned blacks, and being equally amused and offended at the notion that light-skinned blacks dare compare themselves to white people. But for the most part, the blacks of that time fully bought into what members of the Blue Vein Society. For the most part, the items were not. While Blue Vein Society members were busy distancing themselves from dark-skinned blacks in the hopes to attain adjacency to their pure white counterparts, the white people of that era were shooing them off, wanting nothing to do with dark-skinned or light-skinned blacks, and being equally amused and offended at the notion that light-skinned blacks dare compare themselves to white people. But for the most part, the blacks
So
of that
we was like, nigga, we was like, yo, chill, black niggas. We like, yo. We not even like y'all. We more like them. And they was like, white niggas was like, hold on. Y'all niggas are niggas. Oh, shit.
time fully bought into what members of the Blue Vein Society believed. In a nutshell, the lighter, the better. So here the nation was, literally just a few years after the Emancipation Proclamation. White communities were trying to keep black people, both light and dark, away from them, and lighter black people tried to keep darker black people away from them. Light skin was a privilege that they wanted to keep, and they were ruthless and intentional in their efforts to establish their hierarchy, whether it was in their homes, at work, at school, and yes, even at church.
Wait, but how did light-skinned people become light-skinned? This is where I'm at. Like, was it because of the white people having sex with the black slaves? That's what it was. If that's the actual thing, that's normal. That's what I was looking for. I'm not talking about the actual problems that they actually had back in the day, which is we already know the problems they fucking have. It's just the problem of color. Everything is problem of color nowadays. It seems like it's no fucking reason because we're all damn near similar, except for the whites.
Society was relentless. Here are a few specific examples from newspapers from 1911, 1893, and 1896. I will just read all of the stories and sprinkle in a little commentary. Let's start with the one that seems to be the least harmful, that was published in the Arizona Republican on December 20th, 1893. It was printed in the local briefs that day, and it simply reads, "A Blue Vein Society is being organized by the colored people of Phoenix. Frank Shirley of the Fashion Barber Shop is at the head of the movement, and all the barbers in his employ, except Messrs. Thomas and Polk, will be admitted. All who have white blood are eligible to membership." Nothing much to see here except for that the barbers who were too dark are called out by name in the newspaper. Super tacky. The next story is a bit more harmful and involves Blue Vein Society members denying dark-skinned adults employment as teachers and dark-skinned children access to education. It's from an 1896 edition of the Chicago Tribune, and it reads, "Blue Vein in Contempt. Negroes at Washington participate in a race war. Octoroons and other of light color are accused of receiving favors at schools. Factional strife results in a clamor from the full-blooded Ethiopians who resent the snubs. Their brethren accuse them of dullness." And by dullness, this writer is referring to dim-wittedness or brainlessness. And I think it very odd that the writer refers to them as full-blooded Ethiopians. Let me know your thoughts about that. Anyway, back to the article. Washington, D.C., May 1st. A peculiar race war is going on here in Washington, which has broken out with unusual virulence. It is nothing more or less than a fight between two factions of colored people representing the pure blacks and those of lighter skins. The very dark Negroes have begun holding a series of meetings in which they say that those of their race with a large portion of Caucasian blood in their veins are securing all the benefits of the colored schools of the district. The fight has arrived at the stage where the two parties are making serious charges against each other. Men of lighter complexions, like ex-Senator B.K. Bruce, are being charged freely by their black-skinned brethren with misappropriating the funds intended for the use of the colored schools, and also with partiality in the selection of teachers. The pure blacks say that they are not given the slightest show, and that whenever one of their color comes up for examination for the normal school, he invariably is shut out by someone of the favorites whose skin more nearly approaches that of the white people. It so happens that here in Washington that there is a very large contingent of the mixed race. They naturally were the first ones to come north, and the process of amalgamation with the Caucasian is still going on. The light-skinned Negroes say they have secured the greater proportion of teachers and have absorbed control of the schools simply because of the superior energy due to the admixture of white blood. They deny that there has been any favoritism and say that the light-skinned boys and girls learn much more rapidly than those of pure Negro blood, and hence they stand better in the examinations and are accordingly selected as teachers. The fight between the two factions has become exceedingly bitter, and at a meeting of the pure blacks, they denounced their fellows and declared it to be their deliberate judgment that the administration of the schools, which is in the hands of the light-skinned colored people, should be inquired into by a committee of Congress. This war of the pure Negro against the mixed race has been on the point of breaking out openly for a long time, but only now has it come to the surface directly. In Washington, there are many so-called colored people who are recognized as Negroes by their fellows, but who would easily pass, and do pass in a crowd, for white people, as they have at best an eighth or a 16th or even a 32nd of black blood.
30 seconds.
Now
of
this
black
is
blood
my
crazy.
commentary here. At a 32nd of black blood, is it not odd to you that they don't just call these people white? That is literally 3.125% black. Anyway, back to the article. According to the old slavery rule, they are recognized still as Negroes, and they generally attend the colored schools and churches.
All right, so facts though. If you had any point of blood in you, it said back in the day you was allowed in this bitch. If you got any type of white, or it was like one of them said white blood, but it was like if you had any type of Negro blood in you, you were allowed in. So, hey, if you was a little bit of white, you was still allowed in. This is where I was confused though. This is where I am confused, and maybe I'm not confused at the same time. Were they both were doing it to each other, but then there were certain parts of, like Washington, certain parts where they were allowed, like black people were allowing you to come in even if you were light skinned, but you had black in you. And then there was places where it was segregated. I think that's what they were trying to say. And it's like in Phoenix, it was really more segregated over there when it came down to light skin and dark skins. But over here, there were certain people saying that you could come to our church no matter, as long as you got some black blood or some black descendant in you, you could be here. And there was one with the barbershop where it said you only could come in here unless you got some white blood in you or some shit like that. So like I said, I'm still getting based off in the last 10 minutes. I'm still getting based off of that. Light skinned people fought for their own, like, they thought we thought we were better. Like, and literally that's what the bitch thought. But that's the crazy thing. I didn't even say nothing to the bitch the other day. Like, it was crazy. I didn't even say nothing to her. She just was like, ooh, and I'm like, all right, well, now if that's from history standpoint, I can see why you might hate a nigga, but I didn't do nothing. A lot of niggas ain't do shit. I was one of those niggas who probably was, back in this time, was like, I don't care for who either. Because I don't have anything against dark-skinned niggas. I don't have anything against I don't have anything against anybody, really. I really don't. I really only have, like, things I will critique about people's actual, like, living situation or living styles, or, like, you like, nigga, you don't take enough showers, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga over here, they always, you know what I'm saying? But I try not to be too judgmental or, like, too overly judgy on people's backgrounds and religions and stuff like that, or races. I try not to be. Not perfect. But anyways, like I said, based off what it seems like black people just had this issue between them for a long time, where they're focused on the color instead of a mission, as a unit, as a team, as a one. Some type of competition between us. For some odd reason, we think we're better because we're closer to the white people, and white people thought, but that's how white people thought. Maybe that's how we were treated. I don't know. We're not getting deep enough in it for me. This is 2 hours and 30 minutes, but I'm not watching 2 hours and 30 minutes. There was another video I saw.
But nonetheless, they are inclined at times to snub their coal-black brethren, and the result has been the latter are casting about for some way in which to bar out the white Negroes from the schools intended for colored people. First, I just have to say that this writer has a way with words when describing dark-skinned black people and even white black people. But anyway, what I'm picking up here is that the darker teachers who were applying for positions were denied. The Blue Vein Society members claimed that it was because the lighter blacks were simply always smarter and always better qualified than the darker blacks.
Is that what?
Do you buy
Did
it?
she say white people said that?
And light skin are inclined at appears that the darker teachers who were applying for positions were denied. The Blue Vein Society members claimed that it was because the lighter blacks were simply always smarter and always better qualified than the darker blacks. Do you buy it?
I'm still confused if the Blue Vein Society was white people or black people, the whole black people like thing. Because not all like I'm white and you can pretty much see my vein. Oh shit, I'm in the Blue Society. Ah! I'm in the Blue Vein Society, gang. God damn it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just taking it all in and why people might actually hate me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, before, I didn't get it. Like, I'm like, what is your problem with me? But it stems from history. Like, people's parents and shit like that, they still got that shit in them. Like, damn, I didn't even peep, gang. Like, hold on. Let me see what the chat talking about. Could be wilding over there and I wouldn't even know. Well, like, so no, Mr. Nobody, shout out to Mr. Nobody and shout out to Zero Man. I've been trying to sit here and like get a history lesson for myself because it's such a like for me it's been such a like I don't get it. Like, what is the problem? Like, I've never had in my life so much hate for a person unless it was somebody who tried to intentionally hurt me on purpose, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I've just never had like I see somebody, oh, I hate you, like. You just naturally hate somebody. I don't know. Like I might dislike the way you look, might not, but I've genuinely all right. So like I've genuinely could look at a person and be like I might not like you, and I've genuinely had genuinely great conversations with that person. You feel me? Like act like it's all about what you want to accept in life. Like if that person naturally is a good person, you know, I have a hard time fucking hating them to do something bad to you. Anyways, for me. So, right. Let's say we're going to give this to like 15, and then we're going to move on to the next part.
And light-skinned boys and girls are simply faster learners than dark-skinned boys and girls. So quite naturally, according to Blue Vein Society logic, because the lighter black children learn faster, they will be the ones to occupy those coveted spots as students in those classrooms. Then, as adults, it only stands to reason that they will also be the only ones qualified to teach. So how could the cycle end? The point was that it wouldn't. And this perfectly illustrates how colorism becomes a system, not just individual incidents of, I don't like him because he's dark. And the final Blue Vein Society incident for this video comes from a 1911 issue of the Shreveport Journal. It reads,
so there's another
Blue
side
Vein
to
Society has peculiar sort of fun at expense of Negro Porter. Using stationery adorned with the crude drawing of a coffin, the Shreveport Blue Vein Society has undertaken to scare the daylights out of Addie Hall a Negro porter employed for several years at the Meyer drugstore. Hall recently received a letter from the society, which is evidently composed of "yaller niggers," reading as follows. And obviously, that is a phrase that the writer came up with. That is not my own commentary. Back to the letter. The letter reads, Shreveport, Louisiana, February 23rd, 1911. Mr. Addie Hall, Shreveport, Louisiana. Dear Sir, we recognize you as a man, but we remember you are a black man. By foul flattery, you have seduced and married a daughter of the quadroon and octoroon race. We are content with our own kind, but you, a black man, not content with your own Owski women, must come and take advantage of the chance yet allowed you of taking and pulling down one of ours. However, this will not be possible in a few years. Yet, what you have done is done, and now you must pay the penalty. Leave Shreveport at once, or prepare to die soon. Beware. Shreveport Blue Vein Society, members 7 times 7 plus 1 plus 13. That is their letter. Back to the article. The matter was taken up with the sheriff's office, and at the direction of the sheriff, Hall will ask the post office authorities to investigate. In the meantime, Hall is going right along with his work at the drugstore and isn't losing any sleep over the threatened trouble that the yellow coons have up their sleeves in his behalf. However, joke or no joke, the letter went through the Shreveport post office, and the chances are that if Uncle Sam learns the identity of the society members, some of them will be wearing stripes. That is the end of that article. So, death threats. That's it. I don't think that this story requires any further commentary. I did look further to find out if a follow-up story was ever printed revealing the identities of these Blue Vein Society members, but it seems that this particular story was a one and done in Shreveport, Louisiana. Of these 3 news stories, which one was the most shocking to you and why? Let me know in the comments section.
Also, there was 3
These stories are just a few of many stories in which blacks, or people who were considered to be legally black, displayed racist actions towards other blacks for simply being dark-skinned. Again, these Blue Vein societies started popping.
Just wait, hold on. Hold on now. I don't know what we're talking about. Because black people, I just kept saying black people in general, but I'm like, I generally looked up, I literally looked up light skin and it says black people in racial. Talking big. Yeah, this what the fuck? This was all looked up, but I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna get from this. Did you know light skin appears in modern? What? I low key typed on it, but it's just because it had mad views and it was like 3 years ago. Looking at it right now, maybe no. But it says history, and then now I'm just seeing that we were privileged. I guess I think this is what people think of us, that we were privileged. Then I look at my life and I'm like, yo, my dad married a black woman and treated her queen. And damn, this feels crazy to learn. Like to learn about your history for real. I mean, I don't know if this is 100% true. This is based off of one couple stories that they found out. I'm not saying this is our whole history, but based off of what I'm looking at right now, this is all and shit like that. Like, hold on, talk about the shit I'm reading is crazy. I don't even want to watch this now. I mean, that tells me it's not what I want to look up. Oh, here to go to Blue Vein Society. Oh my god. Oh shit. So that's where it came from. Get the fuck out of here. Let's read. No, all right, what's going on here?
The oldest people in existence are the Khoisan, hunter-gatherers of southern Africa. The Khoisan, together with the Pygmies, have the oldest haplogroups in the world, and all the people of the world are descendants of these people. Their language has the click sound, and anthropologists say that the more click sounds a language has, the more ancient it is. They have 5. And they are light-skinned like me. Too bad for all the colorists out there who call everyone who is light-skinned mixed race. The oldest people in existence are the Khoisan, hunter-gatherers.
Not what I didn't believe. I didn't know. I don't know if that's true. You know, not fully sure. We could look it up. Well, let's do that. What do you say? What kind of people are? Let's write that down. Let's just look at it. You can do it on YouTube too, okay? Try YouTube first. I'm just trying to see something. He's like, no, not the same spelling. Unless he spelled the shit wrong. I think he spelled the name wrong. You might have spelled it. Oh yeah, he spelled it wrong. Obviously. What? Huh? Stop lying. Stop. Stop. That's cat.
There's a race of people that most around the world have probably never heard of, yet are without a doubt the single most genetically and linguistically disparate human population that has ever existed, even more so than the Anomanese, who have been isolated from all other human populations on their island chain for tens of thousands of years, or the Yaghan of Tierra del Fuego, who are the most geographically isolated people on Earth, being the closest people group to Antarctica. While looking at the differences between European, African, Oceanian, Amerindian, and Asian populations, we often forget that there could technically be considered a sixth regionalized ancestral continuum, as being the birthplace of modern humans. Africa has the largest genetic diversity of any continent, with there being a very distinct genetic strain or race found here that is quite different from the typical black African, and they're actually still around to this day. I've actually discussed this many times in the past, how there are many very physically distinct African populations, some of which can be easily identifiable, such as Horn Africans, with most Ethiopians, Somalis, and Eritreans have more
Yo, time out. I'm not even being funny, bro. You know somebody who looks just like this shit, bro. Not even being funny. Like, he really a homeboy of mine. I know somebody who looks just like this. Swear to God. All right, that nigga ain't gonna lie. That
Tazoid
hairstyle, it's
features.
like, all right, if that's a female, one thing, but if that's a nigga, that hairstyle look kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. Whoever did his hair, like I don't know if this is somebody put this on there or something, because it don't seem like a hairstyle he would have all the way out there. Like I don't know how the fuck you did that with whatever they got out there, but that shit is wavy, cuz that's the shit he did in the '80s, nigga. Like he did that shit with a fucking nigga, a stick. Nigga, fuck. Did that shit with a home. With a home. It's not even called a comb. It's called a home.
Due to admixture with ancient migrants from the Middle East, and perhaps most famously, the Nilotic peoples of South Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania are also quite easily recognizable, as I discussed in my most popular video, being the darkest, thinnest, and perhaps tallest people on Earth. However, the one group that I've somewhat glossed over in the past would be the indigenous Southern African traditional hunter-gatherers, a loose collection of peoples that more or less stem from a common gene pool dating back 1/10 of a million years ago, sometimes referred to as Capoids due to their concentration near the Cape of Good Hope. These people are believed to have been descended from one of the first branches to
My niggas always tweaking out, one nigga. I hear niggas tweaking out in my neighborhood. I'm trying to get a whole history lesson right now. I open the window like, yo, shut the fuck up, nigga. Oh shit, niggas banging. Niggas is banging. Or niggas is drunk. Something like that. He said, you got me. Sorry. Niggas is drunk, some shit. I don't know. Either drunk or fighting, one of the two. Sorry, niggas was yelling like they was bang. I look out the window, niggas on the floor. Well, got me. It's that Hereford shit, man. That Hereford shit, man. Alright, so right now we find out. Okay, we find out. I don't like saying this shit because then it make me sound like everything this bitch was saying is true, but it is true. Like, it was true. Like, this video is true. Like, I mean, it's not fully. I'm gonna have to go look it up on Google now. We gotta look it up on Google. Look it up on Google. First, you get the one video. First, one person saying it. Then we're gonna look it up. Then we're gonna start posting that shit. So niggas can stop hating on niggas. You know what I mean? But it's just saying that. Well, the world's oldest race would mean like the first race, right? Am I tweaking? Or we're just still around to this day. The world's first race in indigenous South Africa. The world's oldest race. Not the first race. So get it right, Q. We're the oldest race. So they're saying that light skins were like one of the first people to be found, or were they one of the first, like, were they around at the same time as who's equal? Are they equal? Let's go back.
that is quite different from the typical black African, and they're actually still around to this day. I've actually discussed this many times in the past, how there are many very physically distinct African populations, some of which can be easily identifiable, such as Horn
I don't
Africans,
like how
with
they did
most
that, though.
Ethiopians.
They really did Homeboy dirty in the first one, huh? They did Homeboy with the little teeth and the hair little sticking out like that, and then they gonna put Home here. Like, That's two different hairstyles completely, gang. Why I had to do homeboy like that? And I ain't let homeboy get a clean up or none of that shit. Get a little line up. That nigga had his hair all fucked up, teeth all fucked up, sun in his eyes and shit. This nigga look like a warrior. He like he ready to go fuck a princess, nigga. Anyways. Oh, yeah.
Somalis and Eritreans have more quote-unquote Caucasoid features due to admixture with ancient migrants from the Middle East, and perhaps most famously, the Nilotic peoples of South Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania have more quote-unquote Caucasoid features due to admixture with ancient migrants from the Middle East, and perhaps most famously, the Nilotic peoples of South Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania are also quite easily recognizable, as I discussed in my most popular video, being the darkest, thinnest, and perhaps tallest people on Earth. However, the one group that I've somewhat glossed over in the past would be the indigenous Southern African traditional hunter-gatherers, a loose collection of peoples that more or less stem from a common gene pool dating back 1/10 of a million years ago, sometimes referred to as Capoids due to their concentration near the Cape of Good Hope. These people are believed to have been descended from one of the first branches to split from modern Homo sapiens, roughly 80 to 120,000 years ago. And for context, Neanderthals and Denisovans, although considered separate species from Homo sapiens, split around 400,000 to 800,000 years ago, and Africans and Eurasians, as in all non-African populations, only split
Like, not to make that bitch point in the video. We was one of the first motherfuckers to take off on our own and do this shit by ourselves.
Split from each other roughly 50 to 70,000 years ago. Oh, and in case you're wondering why the time estimates have such huge discrepancies, it's because various sources give entirely different answers, so it's really more of a rough guess for now. This doesn't mean there wasn't significant contact between these hunter-gatherers and other Africans in that time, but they have, without a doubt, the most distinct and ancient ancestral strain, having inhabited South, Central, and East Africa for tens of thousands of years, before the much more recent migrations from the Northwest intermixed with and displaced these people groups. So think of them as the Native Americans of sub-Saharan Africa. This is further complicated by the discovery of admixture in these hunter-gatherers that is thought to be from an entirely separate lineage from Homo sapiens altogether, with this admixture coming from a very ancient, extinct, archaic hominid found in Central Africa, with this species believed to have split from Homo heidelbergensis, the ancestors of humans, Neanderthals, and Denisovans, 700,000 to possibly even 1 million years ago, making it the most genetically disparate hominin population to ever intermix with modern Homo sapiens. As you could probably tell from the title and thumbnail, the modern descendants of this highly unique sub-Saharan population are found predominantly in the Khoisan of southern Africa, a group that is indigenous to what is now modern-day South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, and possibly further, such as parts of Angola, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Full-blooded Khoisan have a strikingly distinct appearance when compared to other sub-Saharan Africans, generally having lighter skin, tighter, coarser hair, and very distinguished facial features, smaller eyes, higher cheekbones, and smaller noses, somewhat reminiscent of East Asian populations.
Come on. Look at my eyes. Facial features. Facial features. Facial features is hilarious. Come on, man. She was hating. She was hating! Because she's from the other side of Africa, god damn it.
The other traditional hunter-gatherer population of sub-Saharan Africa would be the Pygmies, a group further north in Central Africa, and is closer to other African populations than the Khoisan are, but are still very genetically distinct, as we'll get to later. The Khoisan and the Pygmies were gradually pushed back by waves of migration from West Africa, some of which would give rise to the Nilotic and Afroasiatic populations in the east, but by far the biggest impact on these groups was the expansion of the Niger-Congo-speaking Bantu populations, originally from West Africa, in a nearly 2,000-year-long conflict known as the Bantu Expansion, wherein various tribes and clans from what is now Cameroon expanded into Pygmy, Khoisan, and Nilo-Saharan territory, intermixing with, killing, or displacing these people. As a result, the Pygmies were relegated to small pockets within the interior of the Congo, although cultural contact with the Bantus had resulted in them losing their original language, although parts of their vocabulary and grammar clearly indicate their pre-Bantu origins. The Khoisan were mostly spared due to the fact that a large part of their population lived in the Kalahari Desert of Namibia, which even today is the second least densely populated region of Africa after the Sahara, although the Khoisan became quite well adapted to this environment, learning how to hunt and forage in this desolate landscape. However, it's important to realize that the Khoisan are not exactly one people group, as although they do share many similarities and are generally grouped together for convenience sake, there are still many genetic, linguistic, and cultural differences between them, seeing how, even though Khoisan groups share the commonality of all using click consonants, not generally seen in other languages, they are still distinct enough to be split into multiple families. Likewise, even though they all descend from the same distinct genetic lineage stretching back 100,000 years, there's been relatively little intermixing between some groups, which has led to there being more genetic distance between select Khoisan groups than between the average European or Asian. Interestingly, it's also been found that within the last couple thousand years, there was a small migrant group from somewhere around the Horn of Africa that introduced minor levels of Horn African admixture into select Khoi populations, as evidenced by the presence of haplogroup E3b in some Khoi, mostly found in many Afroasiatic speaking peoples, although overall, most Khoisan, along with the Pygmies, belong to haplogroup A or B, as opposed to E1 or E3A, which is found in most Niger-Congo speaking populations of West, Central, East, and Southern Africa. Because of their isolation, mostly living in the deserts and plains of southern Africa, the Khoisan were not discovered by Europeans for quite some time, although it is true that both Western Europeans and the Bantus started to arrive in the Cape of Good Hope area around the same time, mid-1600s, and the European settlers, namely the Dutch, immediately recognized them as distinct from the neighboring Bantu peoples. Although Capoid admixture in most Bantu populations is quite low, there has been considerable genetic and cultural exchange between the Khoisan and a few Bantu peoples of southern Africa, namely the Xhosa or Xhosa and the Tswana, both of which actually contain some of the click consonants borrowed from the Khoi languages, although the Bantu speakers with the highest percentage of Khoi ancestry would be the Kgalagadi of southwest Botswana at nearly 1/3 of their genome. Conversely, the Khoi-speaking population with the lowest levels of Capoid admixture would be the Damara of northern Namibia, who, despite speaking a language very similar to that of the nearby Nama, are actually very genetically disparate, showing almost no genetic affinity to either Khoi-speaking groups, suggesting that they are indeed Bantus who shifted to speaking a Khoi language. The Dutch, and to a lesser extent,
I don't care. I'm gonna get demonetized on this. Oh, I mean, he's showing this shit. That's not me. I just have a clip on the video, goddamn. Okay. You know shit. Alright. Enough of this African shit. Alright. So, well, so far we learned, so far we learned, about our, oh wait, damn. Damn, Mr. Nobody was in here, Daryl. Yeah, Daryl. Yeah, yeah. There you go. There my nigga Daryl. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I had to, bro. I had to figure out what the fuck was going on. My bad. I ain't get back to the chat in a second. But yeah, like I had to figure out what the fuck was going on. I'll get to all the comments. Oh, I mean, technically, Mr. Nobody, you are. Yes, you are a nigga. But This other, like, some people don't like being called the word. That's just about the word that's being used. Yeah, like some people, bro got some KSI bread. But yeah, shout out to Daryl Smith, man. I appreciate you joining here. Cause I just mentioned you too. I was like, my nigga Daryl can tell you, bro. For real, for real. I swear to God, like, I'm literally sitting here wondering, like, what the fuck is the reason behind all this shit? Like, I'm tired of it. It's not just her. Like, she was the icing on the cake. I felt like I was getting a lot of slack from everybody. Like, it's every black person, even my own mother. Like, my mother, like, she's black. Like, my mom is black. Like, my mom is dark, dark as fuck. Like not dark as fuck, but she's dark. She's dark enough. My sister, dark enough. She's brown. Like, they're not the same color. But me and my father are exact, like, damn near. He's darker than me, but nah, facts, bro. So like I'm here like just been thinking about it, like, but like my dad is freaking like he's darker than me. He's a little darker than me. But I'm like literally light. So it's just been on my mind to like really break down where the history come from. But like based off that the last video, not this one, but the first one. The first one where she was talking about the Blue Vein Society. I was like, okay, well, if some point in time in history we were talking about who was better than who, and that's where it came from, that's like still going on to this day, and it kind of don't give me too many answers. You know, feel me? Like it kind of just please do me a favor, y'all haven't done so. Like the video if y'all like it. If you don't, whatever, don't like it. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe as well. But like even as going on today, those videos didn't answer my question on pretty much on why it started. But if you had to give it a basis, like it's like because somebody thought they were better than the other person and nobody let it go, or we just didn't decide to work in unity, or we just didn't decide to be one. We all just didn't decide to be one type of black person or one. We all wanted to be our own special individual, whatever. So that was the case, I got my answer. Like, okay, well then, some people thought that, but like the problem with me was that not everybody is like that. Not every single person felt like they were better than. I felt like even back in then, like the person was just being raised or just being, taught wouldn't understand who they're better than or who they're not, better than. It's all based off the way they were raised and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of people just need to start overlooking their little box that they're in and the little space that they're in when it comes down to having a conversation about why you don't like a person. You don't like me because you say I lie. You don't like a race because they lie. You say I don't like that race because they lie. Well, black people lie. In your race, in your own race, black people lie. So you don't like that race either, or are you just saying are you giving yourself reasons not to like that race that you already have that you're already accepting for other races, should I say? Like that's where I was kind of confused at because I'm like, bro, we're not too far from the boat. I'm black, I'm full like not no half nothing. My dad is just light skin, my mom is dark. Like I'm full black. So um, maybe French or some shit like 2%, 10, 15% French. I don't know, but I'm pretty much black as fuck. So I just be wondering when people be having so much animosity or like hate towards somebody, and let alone things didn't even like I didn't do anything to you, or if I haven't feel me, if I haven't violated you anyway, like never did anything to hurt you. I don't get why there would be like why are you venting your hate towards me? Like because I'm here. Like I'm doing the same thing you doing, man, and I ain't even saying nothing to you. I just never understood. Yeah, nature over nature, nature. What you mean by that? Like, well, I guess I get what you mean. But like, I had to like, I feel like I had to get this off my chest too. I had to make a podcast. I had to do it, and it was funny because I didn't think about it until like just now that I wanted to put the history part into it. I was just gonna tell y'all a story. Yeah, yeah. Nah, facts, facts. Yeah, that's how I just like I don't know. So I'm like. I got to the point where my peoples just raised me to be like, good, be nice to everybody, be kind to everybody, respect people who respect you, type shit, type shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's always been something with me, bro. Like I could be minding my motherfucking business. Like I really could. Niggas would hate like for like reasons I can't explain, bro. But then I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, if your parents raised you or if you've already had a problem with one, like I've watched myself have a problem with a type of person and met the same type of person and thought that person would be exactly the same as this person, but it's not gonna be that way every single time. And I feel like to be judged such often upon a skin color is so wrong. I feel like generally being racist is such a odd thing because you can easily find things you have in common with the same person that you feel like you're about to hate because of their skin tone, um, or because of their race, let alone. So I think this is probably the best topic that I could have talked about today, period, because it's black. I mean, it's Black History Month. It is Black History Month. It's February, and that's what we know. February is known for is Black History Month. We talk about our fallen great kings and our fallen great Black Panthers and fallen great soldiers that were helping their cause to end racism, man, to end all the shit that we still go through on a daily basis, to end all the judgment, to just be one as people. Um, and that's where I think I say when I told people to tune into my podcast, I tell y'all to tune in because I genuinely have wanted to like learn and I wanted to teach people who haven't learned about maybe the racism or been through the things I've been through. It's part of the reason why I'm starting the podcast, and it might be a little uh discombobulated right now where we have different topics, different days, and things ain't really set. But I generally think right now we're on a good pace to letting y'all know, getting y'all that information y'all need. Like for instance, light skin people have been around for the longest period of time. They said, if I'm not mistaken, we have the first South Africans. If I'm not saying South African. What is it? What's the how do you say their names? Caucasian. I forgot how you say it. I forgot how you say it. I'll look you on it. Read it. I heard it say it like 4 times.
There's a race of people that most around the world have probably never heard of, yet are without a doubt the single most genetically and linguistically disparate human population that has ever existed, even more so than the Animanese, who have been isolated from all other human populations on their island chain for tens of thousands of years, or the Yaghan of Tierra del Fuego, who are the most geographically isolated people on Earth, being the closest people group to Antarctica. While looking at the differences between European, African, Oceanian, Amerindian, and Asian populations, we often forget that there could technically be considered a sixth regionalized ancestral continuum, as being the birthplace of modern humans. Africa has the largest genetic diversity of any continent, with there being a very distinct genetic strain or race found here that is quite different from the typical black African, and they're actually still around to this day. I've actually discussed this many times in the past, how there are many very physically distinct African populations, some of which can be easily identifiable, such as Horn Africans, with most Ethiopians, Somalis, and Eritreans have more quote-unquote Caucasoid features due to admixture with ancient migrants from the Middle East, and perhaps most famously, the Nilotic peoples of South Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania are also quite easily recognizable, as I discussed in my most popular video, being the darkest, thinnest, and perhaps tallest people on Earth. However, the one group that I've somewhat glossed over in the past would be the indigenous Southern African traditional hunter-gatherers, a loose collection of peoples that more or less stem from a common gene pool dating back 1/10 of a million years ago, sometimes referred to as capoids due to their concentration near the Cape of Good Hope. These people are believed to have been descended from one of the first branches to split from modern Homo sapiens, roughly 80 to 120,000 years ago. And for context, Neanderthals and
Bro,
Denisovans,
say the
although
name. You
considered
say the name of
separate
the people,
species from
nigga?
Homo sapiens, split around 400,000 to 800,000 years ago, and Africans and Eurasians, as in all non-African populations,
Whatever, bro.
only
Alright. Canadian, whatever it may be. I was trying to say the word, and I'm like, it just is pissing me off. Well, actually, I can tell you. I can tell you how serious it is. She gonna fuck it up. Siri gonna fuck this up. Khoisan. It definitely was no Khoisan. I told you was gonna fuck that shit up, bitch. It was no fucking Khoisan, nigga. It was Casidian or Casidian or something like that. I don't know. Oh, that bitch fucked it up. Anyways, so yeah, man. It was like it kind of came to me though. Like when I was thinking about it, like I was just like, yo, why though? Like, why do people? Shout out to Jada Goddess. She just get up there. I appreciate you. Why? Like, why do people feel the way they do? But it comes back to like history. Like, whether you believe it, it's history. Like, they might just hate you because of history, gang. Like, they don't even hate you because of you, who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like you might feel like a person is hating on you, and they're actually just hating on the history and the behind what the like the shit that they had to even deal with, whatever they was going through. But I'm learning that like in life, sometimes you just gotta let that shit be, and that's exactly what I did that day though. Like I mean, I ain't let it be. I kept thinking about it, but you gotta let it be with that person. Like you can't go back and forth with that person. You can't change shit. That person thinks, believes, wants to believe what they want to believe, gave them all the info they needed, and they still wanted to keep going about whatever. At this point, I'm gonna just keep everything else to myself, and I'm disassociate myself with you. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. That's how I be feeling, bro. Like I could really say what I be wanting to say, but I'm like, yo, what's the point? I was already chilling. I was already in good moods and good vibes. Like me trying to explain myself and who I am to you, it's not gonna ever help. So you not like me, disliking me because of my color, because of what I've done, because of whatever. That's just only you. I have to live with that. History has taught us that we as black people need to start getting along and start making more fucking money together. We as a black community, now that all the other bullshit aside, like we already understand, we need to start making some real plans, making some real moves with our real homies, our real families, our real people that we have in our lives. And stop being so selfish with our ideas and stop letting people run off with them instead of giving people your idea, make it happen and put them on and make sure it's you know what I'm saying? Like shit just don't go wonky. I don't know how they explain it, but it's like why can't we as black people get along? Since what she's 18, I think she said 1870. 1870, my nigga. That was the first, or like when first slavery is over. First thing we start arguing about was who's black enough and who's closer to the white man, and then they still just disassociate us is crazy works. Cause I still feel like we arguing about that shit to this day. That's fucking insane to me. Anyways, look, man. Shout out to Daryl. Shout out to Mr. Nobody. Shout out to Zero. Shout out to Alex Santana. I know you probably was watching from a distance, or you probably tuned in. Hopefully you enjoyed this one as well. Right, right, Daryl. You can either give them a fish or teach them how to fish. And sometimes niggas still ain't happy. Sometimes niggas still want more. Nigga, I done did everything. I done gave you it. Here. You upset. I done brought you over here and taught you how to do it. You don't know how to do it, or I do it better than you, and you mad at me because of that. Sometimes we need to get our feelings in check. Sometimes we just need to get our pride, men and women, in check and start working on things to make us better than, let's say, for this video in general, just better than a white man. We need to be, because we all know, like, our personalities. We know, like, if we was to build this and do this, it's gonna be better than his. Or if we do like this, it's gonna be better than especially than the white man. We talking about it for history, let alone the blue vein society alone was trying to be like the white people, and the white people said, "Fuck out of here! Y'all all black. Y'all don't understand. Y'all all black." We all over here like, nah, ain't no. We have this color mix. We arguing with ourselves. Meanwhile, they making fucking bread. We making bread all individually and not accumulating to building our own cities. We could be having a whole fucking government our damn self somewhere. We choosing to argue about shit and stick underneath this government. Man, I'm learning now. Don't even matter what color you is. It's about whether you want to be rich and happy, or do you want to be happy and middle class, or do you want to be broke? Argue with some black people, some white people about being broke, and then the poor being poor. Or do you want to work together in that middle class and get rich like Daryl Smith? Feel me? You know what I'm saying? Nigga, Daryl only talk about money, nigga. That's all he talk about. I'm not trying to argue with you about nothing. You want to talk about money or cars? And getting a new car or a new part. Building shit. Anyways, so yeah, today's lesson, history lesson about light skins and kind of where it stemmed from. We didn't get the whole. We got bits and parts and pieces. Educated y'all, Lil Schmidt. Feel me? Um, yeah, like I hope you guys got something out of that today. Shout out to Mr. Nobody, shout out to everybody. I'll say shout out to Alex Santana. I know he has but shout out to him for donating. Hey, if you do want to donate to the cause so we can get new equipment, new this, new that, the donations is right here. Wait, actually I didn't put donations in here. Oh damn, I gotta do that. Full. Alright. Well, you can go to any one of my live streams and you can find the donation in the description right now. So yeah. Yeah. I hope each and every one have a blessed day, man. This has been an hour and some change, I believe, or over that. No, it's an hour and 30 minutes. So, let me see you on the next one. Please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Peace.